So this is my AEW Dynamite review. This was a weird, fine show. There was not a thing that I really disliked on this show. Like there are some things that you can say that they could have done better, or some things you'll say that yeah, this shouldn't happen. But there was nothing like an awful angle or an awful match, and I was just like, this is the worst shit ever. That didn't happen. Like the show opened with a brawl, which it was not a good brawl. Let's just say like it felt like there was like five different singles brawls happening, and then let's. It was the most quintessential like okay, people like chaos, like people want the feeling back. Let's do a brawl at the start of the show. So it was Jay White getting interviewed by Rene Paquette, and Jay was like I have a history with these guys, but now I want to go after the Death Rider. So I am teaming up with Adam Cope, and now he's called Cope now, Jay. And then the Death Riders show up, and he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because FTR and Edge were standing behind them. Then they had a brawl. They went towards the ring. Things happened. Moxley was thrown out of the way by Claudio Castagnoli, and Edge hit a spear. And Edge was like he challenged Moxley to a match. Moxley refused. Then Jay White challenged Moxley to like a tag match with him and Cope versus the Death Riders. And I was like, Jay White as this kind of babyface in his Switchblade character doesn't make sense to me. Like okay, he wants to take down the Death Riders because he got pinned. Wheeler Yuta kind of made his life miserable, but I need more from him. Like we need like more like promo packages or something, like really highlighting why like a person like Jay White is like now cozy with like how much the Death Riders have changed him, that he's ready to tag with Cope and FTR, that he's ready to be this kind of white meat babyface type of stuff. One thing is like in a way you can say they did it right by not having Moxley versus White, because it would have made White look even lesser of a star. Like if Moxley was like you don't deserve to face me, and he would have said okay Jay White, you can face me. Like it would have been like you're a lesser challenge to me in the heels face, that's why he's accepting to face you. Then you can say that's fine, but that also like shows that this is kind of like Grand Slam, and this is probably gonna happen at Grand Slam. This makes Grand Slam like a Saturday night's main event, like 1 week notice matches are being made. Like they showed footage from Collision where Buddy Matthews were like, you never defend this title and everything. But last week he defended the title against Commander, like he defended his Continental Championship against Commander. So that isn't true. And like that makes you a bitch. And Okada was like, no, I'm not a bitch. And this set up Okada versus Matthews match at Grand Slam, which Matthews is not going to win. We know. Like it just feels like, oh okay, Buddy Matthews is the person who is actually Australian. So let's put him in a Continental Championship match at Grand Slam against Okada. That was like okay, we need to do something. So they put him in there. Then you had Osprey coming out, and also one thing that I didn't get, why did Marina Shafir pick up Rene Paquette? Because we saw Rene Paquette back interviewing other people. Like why? Like did Mox tell her to do it, that we are brawling, make sure that she doesn't get hurt? Maybe they're trying to get involved Rene in this storyline. Otherwise, it's just fucking random. Like why Maria Shafir picked up all these people, were picked up Rene Paquette out of for no reason. Doesn't make sense. Then hope they have a follow up for that. Then you had Will Ospreay come out. Then Callis introduced his, you know, fellow United Empire mate Mark Davis, which they had an angle with him a few weeks or months back where he came back as a baby face. He didn't like Fletcher, like doing business the way with Callis, and now he's just a heel again. They try to make sense of it on commentary, like he has an Iron Cat contract with Callis and everything. Like people were into Osprey in the match, but people didn't really care about Mark Davis. One thing that I have seen that maybe since Osprey has, heard about all these criticisms that he doesn't sell in these matches, he has started to sell a lot more. But maybe that's not what we want to see in Will Ospreay. Maybe we just want to see him doing crazy stuff like he did against Brody King or like Darby Allin. Because this match was fine. But if I'm going into a Will Ospreay match, like I'm not going there to see fine matches. Like I'm going to see there Will Ospreay do his flippy shit, and that happened, but not that much. Will Ospreay won the match. Then, like they kind of made Mark Davis look like a chump. That Kenny Omega came out and he just like looked at him and went forward. And Kenny Omega said a bunch of shit that didn't make sense. Like he didn't have his return match a few weeks ago with Brian Cage, and he just said like please don't have people talking about the feeling. Like this is what WWE did. Like when you know that you're shit and you have people acknowledge it on program that you're shit, it doesn't go well anytime. like like Kenny Omega acknowledging that I felt like this in 2019, 2021, 20, and then setting up their tag match at uh, Grand Slam. One thing is we had too much of Don Callis on this show. Like you had hounds of whatever they're called, hounds of fire, hounds something. They faced against Takeshita and Fletcher in a good match, in a very good match. Like they are the ones that should eventually take the title from Hurt Syndicate. Like the house that Cammy Belt mentioned on Twitter. Like they're essentially the White Hurt Syndicate, and I will add that White Hurt Syndicate with tattoos. White Hurt Syndicate with my life is in pieces stuff there also added. So they had a great match. They had I get what they're trying to do. They were trying to do that. Okay, Okada had his music. Murphy got distracted, but even then he didn't lose the match. And look at Brody King. Like he did lose the match, but they had to do all these things to make him lose. Like, but this is not the booking that these guys should have. This is like the field booking. Like, look at the field. Like, he went down, but he went down because Seth Rollins beat his ass a lot of times. That is what you're really telling me. Nobody sees this and gets, oh my, look at the valiant struggle. Like, Brody King is a horse. Like, I don't care. Okay, if he's not a valiant babyface, he's a horse in my eyes. Fiend was not a baby. He's a fucking supernatural creepy dude. So that is not the way that you book them. And they lost Creed with an assisted brainbuster. So that set up, like that made them look strong. But too much of Don Callis, man. Too much of Don Callis on a show. Like that is too much. Why didn't they have Konosuke Takeshita's great theme playing, but had Don Callis playing a lot of times? This show felt like it crammed a lot of things. Like it was still a fine show, but it was a very weird show for me. Like it had a lot of stuff, and I was like, you could have done it better. Like, why this? Why this? Like, you also had MJF there. MJF was essentially like talking about now that Jeff Jarrett is out of my way. I want to go for the world championship. Dustin Rhodes came out. He had a great promo, I would say. He did sound like an angry, like a screeching angry bird. He was essentially don't talk about Owen Hart. Like he didn't even say anything bad about Owen Hart. Like why? He had a good point and don't talk bad about why. Don't talk about this. I've been in this industry. I have was a drug addict and everything. Like he is that veteran stuff that they're doing. The thing is, this was a good promo. But why are we having MJF with Dustin Rhodes? Like, this is what you can find? Like, this was a great promo. I'm not saying that. This was a great promo. MJF has had his usual response. Oh, you're a drug addict. And, oh, you went out of your father's shadow, but now you're under little baby brother shadow, everything. And then they had a brawl. The brawl didn't even start, and you had security guys come in and broke it up. Like, this is the most WWE shit I have ever seen. Like, first of all, we have seen worse brawls where security did nothing in AEW. We have literally seen a guy like Ricochet a few weeks back, like stab Swerve with uh, with scissors, and they didn't do anything. And you had a brawl here with an old 55-year-old man and MJF of all people, and it didn't even start, and you had security guards there. And you know what? That Dustin came back in the ring. MJF came and he, you know, kicked him in the balls and everything, and it set up MJF versus Dustin Rhodes match. Like Dustin, you when you say boy, it has some kind of racial like undertone, like that boy hits different. It's said that MJF vs Dustin Rhodes is happening next week on Dynamite. I think Jeff Jarrett is probably gonna interfere in the match or after the match. Probably MJF beats Dustin Rhodes and he's like beating him up after the match, and Jeff Jarrett returns, because I don't think they're gonna have Dustin Rhodes of all people beat MJF. And also you had stuff like what else happened on this show? Like a lot of stuff happened. But first of all, why is Daniel Garcia not on your show? Like he's your TNT champion. Like he had all that fanfare going into beating Jack Perry, and after that he's on Collision and now feuding with Adam Cole. You had Harley Cameron and Mercedes Moné, or not Sasha Banks, man. She'll get mad if I say that. Like Harley Cameron, like she's just so talented in her role that the, you have no choice but to get behind her. But she has that extra little sting in her voice, which makes me like, well, like okay, like I don't care about you. And it was essentially that she wanted a shot at Mercedes Monet, but she was like, "You just won one match," and that ended. She showed a middle finger when she went away, and that was that essentially. You also had the Mariah May Tony Storm stuff, which was fine. I think the thing is, it was too sexualized. I think the thing is, I have no problem with men sexualizing themselves, but the thing is, when it's your world title feud, okay, maybe if it's 100% of your feud, you sexualize it like okay, like 40%, maybe 50% also. That's fine. But this match was like 80% just sexual stuff. Like Tony Storm, one thing I have to say, Tony Storm, damn, like her I was like, she was the personification of the saying that, but I love to watch you leave. Let's just leave it at that. And Mariah May was like fondling her breast, like she was like, she's missing two assets that make her different from me. And Shivani was like Shivani was the personification of all the wrestling gooners. Like Mariah said that I am attractive or something, right? And everyone was like, yeah, yeah. And she and Tony was like, you're very attractive. And Mariah also called herself miserable. Like she said, like Taz, you're the only guy miserable enough as me that understands me. Like if this actually plays into stuff later, I'll really that will be a really like good character like arc added there in Mariah May's character. I know they won't do it, but it would add something. Her match was against Queen Amanita. First of all, why is Timeless Tony Storm wrestling? Like Timeless Tony Storm's first match should be that Grand Slam match. Like this is what I don't like about AEW. Like you have your biggest stars like just having their return matches on Dynamite. Like Kenny Omega's first match is against Brian Cage. Like let him have his first tag match. His first match back should be the Grand Slam match Dynamite, and his first singles match. Either you build it up against Takeshita or you build it against Will Ospreay. Make these things a big thing. Like Tony Storm's first match should be that Mariah May match. You have Queen Amanita here, who is a face. You had Serena Deeb backstage looking at this, and Mariah May just buried her, saying that Serena Deeb, that is who we want. Like Mariah May burying the women's division on commentary, and also like everyone was flirting with Mariah May. Even Excalibur was flirting with Mariah May on commentary. He was like, "Oh, you like my doodles or something like that." Then they did get the crowd into the match in the end, but it was a nothing match. Like Queen Amanita hit a good kick. They got into the match when they were hitting each other with chops, and Tony Storm won with Mariah May's finisher. In the end, Mariah May went to confront her, but she went down and left, and Tony Storm was laying in the ring, and I was like, Okay. That happened. Then you also had stuff, let's just say. Like, this was a weird show, man. You had Chris Jericho, the powerhouse Bill Hobbs, and, you know, you had Big Bill have a brawl. Till they went over the announce table, this was a weird brawl. I like they had security involved also. First of all, AEW needs to know how to structure brawls. They don't know. They just say like have a brawl. Like you have to structure it more. Like before they went over the time they announce table, it was a nothing brawl. They went over that, they crashed the camera and everything, but it just felt disjointed rather than oh no, the brawl was so good that they had to push the camera away and everything. You also had to push the camera away in the thing when Joe and Hook went to confront Christian Cage, but they found out his lackeys there. They beat their ass up. There was a funny moment that Cage and whoever that lady is, like they were watching, but when Joe and were beating their ass, they were not there and they were like just hiding on the side, and they went there and they're like, what the hell happened here? And Christian Cage pushed the camera away, and they did this for two times. Like, okay, there's a glitch here, there's an error here. Like, the show, which is like famous for having errors and glitches, should not make it a part of the show that oh, errors and glitches. I know this was a purposeful one, but you have done it twice. One with Christian segment and one with Powerhouse Bill Hobbs and Big Bills. Also, and please, yeah, take the New York minute out of when they were brawling. Like this, that just distracted me visually. That just distracted me visually. Like Chris Jericho was saying a bunch of nothing that Bandito has 100,000 uh, something on his head, bounty on his head, and we're gonna go after him and everything. The thing is, and the guns are back. Like, you know, Hurt Syndicate said that they wanted new challengers. Her guns came back. Guns came that we were tag team champions before, and we want to challenge you. And MVP had a killer line like, "You're just a bunch of ass boys," and they were like, "Yes, we got them on," and they are back. Like, and I don't like this that the guns are just going to get fed to Hurt Syndicate next week. You could have made this a longer feud. Like, there were things that you could have done maybe, but that things could have buried the guns a little bit more. The thing is, something has to happen next week that either this feud goes long or maybe they have challenges or their mind. Because what do the guns do after this? Like, first of all, why are the guns not backing up Jay White? Why are the guns not backing up Jay White against Moxley? Because they were the Bang Bang Gang, right? And why do the Guns have the Bang Bang Gang music? They have their own music. I think probably because they've embraced that they're as first, probably Billy Gunn is gonna come back. That's what's gonna happen. And in that MJF segment also, like you had Hangman before, like talking about, I just made a mistake. It was a momentary lapse of judgment. People were laughing during the Hangman promo about some statement he said. I don't think you're supposed to. The story that they're telling is that Hangman is like, he is emotional. He is going to have a redemption story, like another redemption story. But the way that they had this backstage segment, people were just laughing. Like it didn't seem that it was very serious. You had Max Caster interrupt him, and Hangman, if you believe in kayfabe, Hangman was just chasing around Max Caster for more than an hour. And then he came in the ring, he confronted MJF, and then he went away. Like MJF also called him a talentless hack. I think the next feud is probably Hangman and MJF. Like they're teasing it long enough. It's Hangman's road to becoming a babyface again. Like they have done this story before also, and I don't think this time it will hit that same way. Like they didn't structure that backstage segment in a good way at all. Like people are just laughing at it. You also had, I'm missing a lot of stuff. I just know I'm missing a lot of stuff. But the thing is, does it matter? It was a fine show. Like you had Ricochet versus Swerve, like which got like 7 minutes in the end. Like they had a video package, earlier in the show, like hyping up the movie. I was like, yeah, they're doing good things. Maybe they'll have like a full video package again. But no, they gave them like 7 minutes if you look at the actual time. Then they gave them 8 extra minutes more because they went overtime also. This was just, it was a fine match, but a weirdly structured match. Like this is a grudge match, right? Swerve comes out, no video package before. He gets attacked by Ricochet, but then almost like for the 90% of the match, Swerve just beat Ricochet's ass. Like the why you ball chance, like this is a grudge match, right? Like this has moved much beyond the ball stuff, and Swerve was just like toying with him. I thought that Swerve would be much more like vicious also, because I get it, you're doing the wide ball stuff, but I think they should have done stuff in the match where the tone shifted from the ball stuff to like the actual, like grudge stuff. Like Swerve was like brutalized by Ricochet. Like Ricochet almost like killed AR Fox last week. Like Ricochet laid his hands on Prince Nana. Like you could have seen Swerve's face last week. He was like all the and everything, but we didn't see that. The finish now I think was pretty smart, that Ricochet like played it smart, that he like unintentionally hit him in the balls, like he did this and hit him in the balls, which was, you can say, like a pretty like smart finish, like Ricochet is being like a smart heel, and he won the match in the end. I feel this would have hit him much better if he won the match and he like just brutalized Prince Nana. Like he took his jacket away. I hope that he could have like put him like in a, he could have given him his finisher like in front of Swerve, like while Swerve is clutching his balls, he could have just gave his finisher like multiple times to Prince Nana, like taking him out, like saying, I defeated you, now Swerve, like I'm going to permanently now like I humiliated you, like you humiliated me, now I'm going to take out everything that you love, like take out Prince Nana for like give him like multiple finishes, and then maybe next week he could have taken out AR Fox permanently forever, maybe. But that's me. But okay, that was a weird fine show. But that's it for me right now. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, share it with those who do. My social media links are in the description. Go follow me on that. Please subscribe and turn off the notification bell. And my UPI ID link, Shabber, the UPI ICICI is also in the description. Donate any amount that you can so that it helps me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me today. So thank you. Goodbye. Allah.